Hey, what's going on, man?
hey, what's good? What's your thoughts, man? And thank you for calling in. And you guys got a
Shit.
great show. What's the name of your show, man?
BBN Unfiltered, where Kentucky fans tell it like it is. Give me 1 second. I think you're playing in the background of my other.
Okay.
Okay. All right. I
Okay.
got you.
All right. So before we get started, was it hard for you to get in?
So I have Riverside. So
There
for
you go.
me, I had
Okay.
to make sure that the link took me straight into my Riverside app.
Okay.
Yeah.
But so just so I can say, you do not need Riverside app to be able to use it, to be able to click the link,
Okay.
to be able to call in. But just so happened he uses Riverside for his show. So that's why it was probably a little easier for him to get in because he's already using it. But go ahead, big guy. What you got, Austin?
And so you said that you wanted to talk about if you take three key players out, do we expect a top 10, top 15? Do we expect that level of a performance of success? And you know that I think it's a great question. My answer to that would be how do you define three key players, right? So to me, and it's so hard to judge based on such a small sample size, 3.5 games from JQ, 8 or 9 games from J Lo with limited minutes. You know, in my opinion, and listen, I played high school, I played college basketball at the NAI level, scored over 1,000 points. I played ball, I've been in the game my whole life. I've seen what it takes to be successful, and I don't care what level. There's just certain things that, you know, are pretty black and white. If you want to define, you know, key players as, listen, I'm not saying that they don't have the potential to be, you know, I thought JQ was going to be a, you know, 15 points, 8 or 9 rebound guy. And I think he has that potential now. I truly do. And so if that was the JQ we had, then yeah, that would fall under key player. Again, and also with J Lo, and I think he was on the cusp of hitting that key player stat line. And again, it's, you know, with so many limited minutes, I wouldn't define them now as key players. Honestly, I would say that Cam was more of a key player over J Lo and JQ. Cam was hooping and he was making a difference and he was out there consistently competing. With such a small sample size, we can't even define J Lo and JQ as key, in my opinions. Short answer, I think we're just down one key player, which is Cam
Okay.
right now. Now
All
I'm
right.
thinking,
Okay.
yeah,
Yeah.
go ahead.
Okay. I'm sorry to interrupt you. So let me ask you this question. If you take Boozer off of Duke, if you take Acuff off of Arkansas, if you take the I can't think of the Illinois kid's name, you take him off. I think UConn has a freshman. If you take Patterson or Peterson off of Kansas,
Yeah.
are they the same team?
Oh, absolutely not.
Yeah,
Absolutely not. But we don't have any of those guys.
that's true.
Hey,
That's true.
well, hey, listen. Okay, so to answer your question, you pull out Ortega right now. Okay, that's a pretty big hit, man.
That's a good
That's a
point
pretty
right
big
there.
hit. So
Yeah.
we have to tread lightly when we say, you know, three key players because their stats were glorified role players. You know, just going off of what they the numbers that they put up. So, and then at the end of the day, the offensive flow with them in the game was so choppy because they weren't getting the reps. They just weren't
Okay.
getting the reps. So let's switch over the key player to hey, if we lost Ortega, and again, I
Yeah.
do think losing Cam is key for us. He was playing
Yeah.
some good ball, man. I was really enthused watching Cam in his improvement the last month or so.
I agree with you on that. Well, and when Cam wasn't scoring, Cam was still playing defense. So you know it as a basketball player yourself who's
Yeah.
played at the collegiate level, then you know if I'm not scoring tonight, I got to do something else out here on the floor. I can't just be like I'm not scoring, so I'm going to shut it down for the night. I got to
Hey,
figure out a way that I can incorporate my skills into the game, even though the basket's not going. And because of that, when you look, Cam is out now. He's out. JQ, we don't have his defense. And even if JQ wasn't going to be a powerhouse scorer, I think he was just his presence on the floor would have made a huge difference. And even J Lo, even trying to maybe guard out there on the perimeter. This when you take all this out, and if you
yeah,
bring us to the team, and then if you flip this with a Duke or you flip this with a other, now we can sit here all day long and say what if, what if. I get
yeah,
all of that. And I wish we was healthy, but unfortunately, we're not. I think my whole point is for me and on my show, people I love when people have their own opinions and their own thoughts. I don't be like, "No, you're wrong, you shouldn't say that." People vent, and that's okay with me, but
Sure.
fly for where we at right now. But at the end of the day, the thing that I feel like with a lot of people do is, if you don't have effort, then what are you doing here? So I think that's
Hey,
for
listen,
me, that's the biggest thing.
I agree. I could not agree more, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, how many and it's being able to overcome adversity. It's not,
Yeah.
making defensive plays, getting deflections, getting rebounds, diving on the floor. That doesn't show up on the stat sheet, but that's what coaches see. That's
Yeah.
what you'll see a lot more of those things when you're looking at the top 10 teams and why they're so successful because they don't
Yeah.
care about making the pretty play or being flashy
Yeah.
or worried about the next level. There's one thing that you can control and it's effort and it's hey, I'm
Yes.
I'm going to go out here and I'm going to compete because man, this is what we do. And if and,
Absolutely.
and if you can't commit to doing that, then why are we even
Mhm.
here? And it is up to the coach to make a judgment call on hey, is what's going on? Why are we not competing at the level that is
Yeah.
not suggested, but required at Kentucky?
Required. Yeah.
Required. And you make that demand and you make that clear to your entire roster, not in December, not in January, but you make it clear the day they step on campus.
It's effortless. Hey, also, I appreciate you calling in. Hey, give the
Yes,
name of
sir.
your channel one more time for me.
BBN Unfiltered. Check us out. We're on Facebook. I'm on Instagram. I'm getting my YouTube going, man. So,
Yeah.
yeah, I appreciate you having me on. I love your
Absolutely,
stuff.
bro.
And
I
yep.
appreciate it, man. Thanks for calling in, okay?
Yes, sir. Have a good one.
All right, awesome. Okay, brother.
Uh-huh. Bye bye.
Okay.